sports division of LitTube. On this program, we're going to provide you with analysis and coverage of college sports and professional sports, many different sports ranging from basketball, football, soccer, WWE even at times, plenty of different sports. My name's Justin Holden. This is my co-host, Gerald Royster.
And let me be the first to say, thank God it is football season. It has been a long-awaited off-season full of so much news and so much fun, and I just can't wait to sit in front of my TV on Sundays and watch football again. But this is not only the first episode of Lit Sports Online, this is also our NFL Kickoff. And we have a lot of information to cover, so we're going to get to it with Holden's players to watch.
In this segment, I basically want to talk about NFL players that are in unique situations, whether it be coming off an injury or we're not sure how they're going to produce this year, or maybe they had a really good campaign last year and we're talking about are they going to follow it up with another strong campaign. So let me start with Marcus Peters of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a cornerback and he's a player to watch, and last year he was a standout rookie. He had a league-leading 26 pass defenses, also had 60 tackles, 8 interceptions, and 2 defensive touchdowns. Now, for Marcus Peters, that is very solid statistics to put together in your rookie campaign. Even for a normal experienced starter, that's a good campaign. So I think in year 2, he's going to go ahead and raise that up to an elite level of play, establishing himself in that elite tier of corners along with Josh Norman, Richard Sherman, Darrelle Revis, and others. He's going to be a household name after this year. Next player is J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans. He's a defensive end. He's produced very well with high numbers over the past 2 seasons. Last season he had 17.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. He's recovering from surgery to repair a herniated disc, and I expect that to make it so he starts the season slow, but by week 4 or 5, he should be full force ready to go, and you can expect another solid season of him as long as he stays healthy. Eric Weddle, Baltimore Ravens safety, the third player I'm going to talk about. He spent 9 years as a San Diego Charger. He's now going to be the starting safety in Baltimore. He's been a positive influence in the locker room during the preseason and training camp. It's going to be interesting to see if this veteran can inspire confidence in a Ravens secondary that's been lacking in quality in recent years after the departure of Ed Reed and some other playmakers. Moving along to offense, C.J. Anderson, a player to watch simply because 2014, he did a lot of damage on the ground. A lot of that was because of Peyton Manning under center taking the pressure off the running game. We didn't see that so much last year because Peyton Manning was declining and they also mixed in another quarterback. This year, he's the presumptive Week 1 starter, and I expect he's going to not impress, and the reason is Trevor Siemian's coming in as the starting quarterback. He's a relative unknown. He's never started an NFL game yet. And then C.J. Anderson, we have to remember, was an undrafted talent. This wasn't a guy that was taken in the first, second, or third round. I think he is that kind of back that can start and be good when he has a good passing game to work with. But if he's just the bell cow back and there's no passing game to take the pressure off him, I think he's going to fail. So look, if he struggles early, look for rookie Devontae Booker to take over his job. Next is Robert Griffin III, Cleveland Browns quarterback. The reason his situation is interesting is that he had one of the best rookie seasons ever for a quarterback in Washington. And then since then, he's been plagued by injuries. He ended up losing his starting job to Kirk Cousins in Washington. Now he's off the team. He's the Browns starting quarterback. I think on a new team in the 2016 season, he's looked relatively healthy in the preseason and actually had a 100 QBR for the preseason. I'm expecting him to be a quality starter as long as he stays healthy, and if he can do that for a full 16 games, he's going to take the Browns' total offensive yards to its highest level in the past decade. And then the other guy I want to touch on is Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys rookie running back. I think we kind of know why this guy's the player to watch. He's been the most hyped rookie by far this year. He's running behind a very talented Cowboys offensive line. He was a complete running back in college. All phases of the game, he showed ability, including pass blocking, which is something a lot of rookie running backs do not pick up right away. So he already has the full skill set and is running behind a beastly offensive line. We can expect a solid season from him. There are some question marks in terms of the fact he's an unproven rookie, as all rookies are, and he also visited a marijuana dispensary while out in Seattle after one of those preseason games against the Seahawks. Does that mean he has off-field concerns? We're going to find out. My honorable mentions for the segment are Aaron Donald, Rams defensive tackle, and Willie Snead, Saints wide receiver. Aaron Donald was Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2014, and he did really well in 2015 as well. I think he's going to have another monster campaign this year. I think he's going to have the most sacks out of any defensive tackle by far, and he's going to establish himself as the best pass rushing defensive tackle in the league. He's definitely a bright spot on that Rams defense. Then we're going to look at Willie Snead real quick, Saints wide receiver. The reason he's interesting is because the Saints brought in Kobe Fleener in the offseason, Indianapolis Colts tight end that is now transitioning to a new offense. He has not looked good in the preseason. I think he's going to take a while to pick that offense up. Rookie Michael Thomas comes in at receiver. All rookies need time to develop. So for early in the season, it's the Cooks and Snead show. Now I'm going to transfer the rest of our show over to Gerald when we talk about some matchups happening in Week 1.
We got the Ravens season opener after an abysmal season and Joe Flacco on injury. Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens look to redeem that and start off with a good start. The Rams are in a new city. Now, does this mean new city, new team? Or does it mean new city, same swan song they've been singing for the better part of a decade since this man's jersey was in a Super Bowl? Also, we have the Patriots minus Tom Brady. And let's not forget, this is a Bill Belichick system. You got a decent quarterback sitting in the driver's seat. Let's see how it rides. So, without further ado, let's get into some final predictions for this game. First up, Buffalo at Baltimore. Fully loaded Ravens squad. Everybody's healthy. The Ravens are looking for redemption. You got Steve Smith Sr., Eric Weddle, Terrell Suggs, and Joe Flacco all back, ready to go. I think the Ravens are going to take this by 7.
I'm going to take the other point of view and go Bills by 7. And sure, it is a home game for the Ravens. They have their pieces back in place. But I just look at the two teams and I say, which team looks more dynamic? And I think when I look at Buffalo, they got the mobile quarterback that can also throw a deep ball in Tyrod Taylor. Interestingly enough, he used to be the backup to Joe Flacco, and now he's starting on a new team. And he's looked pretty good last year before he got hurt, and he's coming back, and he's going to be completely healthy. He's got a premier wideout in Sammy Watkins. That's something the Ravens don't have. They don't have that true number one receiver that lights it up every week, or at least have the potential to do it every week. And Sammy Watkins is very young. He's still just getting into his prime here. Loads of potential for this guy. And they have a complete back in LaShawn McCoy who can contribute in the receiving game and also on the ground. Baltimore backfield's a little bit of a scramble right now. We're not sure what we're going to get between Forsett and the other two younger running backs. We know what we're getting with McCoy. The defense looks like an even matchup to me, so I'm going to go with Bills by 7. And I think it'll probably come down to a last-second play by Sammy Watkins burning the defense, and then the Ravens don't get the points they need to come back.
I have so many issues with what you just said because you have counted out Terrell Suggs on that defense. You've counted out Eric Weddle. You've counted out a Ravens team healthy. This isn't last year. This is this year. This is 2016. And yes, I'm wearing an Ed Reed jersey. I'm a big Ravens fan. I can't lie. But I'm not going to count them out. And again, all biases aside, you got Terrell Suggs out there chasing him down. He's going to get to the quarterback. He's going to get pressure. Eric Weddle's back there. It's a wrap. Their defense is back, I believe. I think the defense looks good. I think the offense is going to be good enough to get points on the board and more points than the Buffalo Bills. And that's the end of that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see. Either way, neither of us are predicting a huge spread on that one. We both said within a touchdown, so let's see what happens on game day.
Yeah. Next up, we have Giants at the Cowboys. Now, I think this might be the beginning of the Dak Prescott era. And like many people out here, I'm surprised Tony Romo hasn't retired yet. But we will see at the end of the season. Again, Dak Prescott, he looked great in the preseason. Although he was going against rookies and backups, I do think he shows a light of hope in the Cowboys' future. And this is from somebody that constantly makes fun of Cowboys fans on Facebook. Just go down my timeline, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I do believe that they're going to pull this off. I don't trust Eli. I really haven't trusted Eli since he beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl miraculously. But I do believe that although the Cowboys probably do have their issues, I think they're going to pull off a win. It's going to be a win by at least 3 points.
An interesting take, but I'm going to look at this the other way, actually the completely opposite direction, and say that the Giants are going to actually embarrass the Cowboys in Week 1 and blow them out by more than 10 points. I look at this one first at the defenses. It's pretty much, again, even because I'm looking at two defenses that are going to probably finish the year middle of the pack and no better than that. The Cowboys do have home field advantage. But I just look at the fact that you're talking about a rookie quarterback in his first ever start for a regular season. Like you already mentioned, he did play against mostly backups in the preseason. Looked good doing it, but first stringer's a different story. I look at the Cowboys right now on offense outside of Dak Prescott. They have Des Bryant coming back after taking essentially a whole year off because he was injured. I don't think he's going to be at full go Week 1. I think it's going to take some time for him to get back to 100%. You do have Ezekiel Elliott, who is going to do a lot of damage on the ground behind that O-line. But I think that when you look at all factors considered, that Giants offense is led by a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Eli Manning. He's inconsistent at times, yes, and it's a question of which Eli Manning's showing up for this game. But I have the good Eli Manning showing up, and he's got Odell Beckham Jr. To throw to. Rashad Jennings can't be ruled out either. He's a decent quality running back. So I've got Giants getting the blowout here. I think either way, I think if the Cowboys do win, they're going to win by a little, and if the Giants win, it's going to be by a lot. And I'm going with the Giants on this one.
All right, fair enough. I just don't trust Eli to be my quarterback. But luckily, I don't have that problem. Next up on the list, we have New England at Arizona. Now, again, we have no Tom Brady, but this is a Belichick system. I cannot emphasize this enough. The man is a football genius. There's Spygate and a million other reasons why you can hate the Patriots, like everybody and myself do. But you cannot deny that Bill Belichick is a football genius. In 2008, under Matt Castle, the Patriots went 11-5 without Brady that year. And this is Matt Castle, who I consider a very, very, very average quarterback, especially at that time. So I'm going to say the Patriots do pull off a victory. It's going to be a very close game, probably a bit of a dogfight. They're going to win by at least 6.
I'm going complete opposite direction here because if you look at it on paper, Arizona has everything going for them in this game. They have home field advantage. They have the better defense, which, by the way, was one of the best run-stuffing defenses last year. And they also have good guys in the secondary, like Patrick Peterson. They got Tyrann Mathieu. They actually took Chandler Jones from the Patriots in the offseason, and now he's starting for them. So they got Calais Campbell, Chandler Jones on that defensive line. This defense could actually be the best defense of the year when it's all said and done. And then I look on the offensive side. They got Palmer, a trio of receivers that are pretty good. But really, for me, the X factor here is Arizona defense. And I don't think the Patriots defense is going to match up to what that Arizona defense can do. If you're going to project the New England to win this game, I think you mostly look at LeGarrette Blount. The first 4 weeks without Brady, he's going to have to do some heavy lifting. But I don't see him doing it against such a great run defense Arizona has. And for that reason, I'm going to say Arizona is going to win this game by 7 to 10 points at least.
Well, you know what they say, any given Sunday. So, next up on the list, we have Steelers at the Redskins. And as we know, the Redskins don't do good at primetime. This is a primetime game. Yes, it is a home opener at a pretty tough place to play. But I do not believe that the Redskins are going to pull out a victory. And against my personal better judgment, the Steelers are going to pull off a victory. And it will be by at least 14.
Wow. I'm going to go with
Bunch of speechless, huh?
I'm going to go with the Redskins winning, but by a very small margin. I'm going to say Redskins win by 3 on some kind of last-second field goal on the final drive. The reason I'm saying this is that, number one, they have home field advantage. I think Kirk Cousins is going to surprise a lot of people this year. He may actually be like the next Drew Brees. I mean, this guy actually came on really strong last year. The second half of the season did very well. He has an elite tight end in Jordan Reed. As long as Reed stays healthy, Cousins is going to be very good, and he'll be healthy week 1. We know that. He's got Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon. They also brought in a rookie receiver that may prove to be pretty good. So the one weakness they have is their run game, and Matt Jones hasn't been good. He was one of the worst starter running backs last year from a statistical standpoint and an efficiency standpoint. However, on the Steelers side, you have D'Angelo Williams filling in for a suspended Le'Veon Bell. I think D'Angelo Williams is going to show his old age more this year. Last season, to me, was kind of a fluke for him, just in the sense that the dynamic passing offense opened up a lot of lanes for him to run. They weren't really keying in on him. I think he loses that advantage this year to some extent, and his age creeps up on him at 33. So, for me, running back, Pittsburgh gets a slight advantage, if anything. I think the passing offenses are comparable. I think that the defenses are pretty comparable. So it's going to be very close, but I'm going to go Redskins by 3.
I just don't see the Redskins pulling off a primetime victory. Just history. History is known to repeat itself, and I think history is going to repeat itself Sunday night. And now we have the LA Rams Monday Night Football versus San Francisco. So, new city, I think it's going to be the same swan song. And though San Francisco does have a lot of issues going on, I think somehow, some way, they're going to pull off a win in a game I really don't care about because it sounds like the most least interesting game on the list. Sorry, man. I mean, I know you're a fan, but I just think San Francisco is going to pull it off. I say a field goal.
I'm going to say Rams by 10, bias aside.
Wow.
I think that the reasoning behind
How is
this...
that not biased?
Well, I'm going to tell you why it's not biased, because if I look at the entire 49ers roster and I ask myself, who's the playmaker here? Well, on defense they have Bowman. On offense they have Hyde. Outside of that, they got nothing as far as I'm concerned. They don't even have Kaepernick starting yet. He's going to start this year, we're all suspecting. You know, it seems like Chip Kelly wants him to start, but week 1 it's Gabbert. And I just think the lack of playmakers is going to cause them to lose. You also look that Rams have the better defense. And a lot of analysts this year, let's not forget, are projecting the 49ers to finish dead last in the NFL standings. I think Gurley is the better running back between him and Hyde.
I agree there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's a workhorse. He's going to be full force, ready to go week 1. I just see Gurley busting up that 49ers defense. And again, Jared Goff is a question mark for the Rams, but Gabbert, is he that much better? Probably not. It remains to be seen. But I think the running game for St. Louis and their strong defense gets them the win here, and they'll win by 10 points.
This could very easily be a game that goes both ways. Again, this is one of those games, and I mean, it's just, I'm not sure why it's on Monday night. I'm no offense to any 49ers fan or any Rams fan. Sorry. I just, amidst the controversy, all that's going on, I just don't know. This game could just go either way, and like I said, I think a field goal may decide it either way. I mean, I don't think we can say a tie. Can we say a tie?
Well, and again, I'm projecting them to win by 10 this week, but we are talking about what may end up being the worst team in the league here.
That's
so when the Rams are playing Seattle and they're playing the Cardinals, I'm not expecting them to win. Okay, they'll be lucky to pull off one win against those divisional foes this year. I mean, I'm realistic about the Rams' projection here. No team has ever won the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, so they're not really going to go anywhere this year. It is a rebuilding year, and I just got to take it for what it is as a fan.
All right. Well, that wraps up our predictions. Looks like it's going to be a great season, and we're going to be here every other week with a new episode of LitTube Sports. We're also going to be here weekly with Rapid Fire, where we break down all the sports around different leagues, different sports, and we give you those. So thanks for tuning in. Click that little red button at the bottom for subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and Snapchat, and also like our fan page on Facebook. All the links will be in the bottom. So check back with us next week for a new video. And also, in the comments, leave the name of your team. We want to know where you stand, so there are no bandwagon fans coming here week 6 after the trade deadline.
Yeah, we don't want any of that on this show. So, but go ahead and comment. Let us know who your favorite team is, so we know going forward. And we hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time.
As for Gerald, this is Justin. Have a great night.